Alright, it's currently 5:30 right now. I have been doing this for 2.5 hours, so I apologize for any slurring or messed up of a word. I'm just gonna go straight through it because I don't want to spend 3 hours on this, and I'm getting real frustrated. So let's get started. The Fall Gunslinger. Imagine standing in the center of America's favorite football team stadium. Stadium lights all around you, fans cheering your name, and teammates looking up to you. That is the scene every Sunday night at Lambeau Field for Brett Favre from the early 1990s to 2007. Brett Favre was one of the best quarterbacks at the time, holding multiple NFL records, including most passing touchdowns, most consecutive starts, fastest release, and so many more. Brett Favre was a hero among football, and everything was going his way. In 2007, Brett Favre decided to tell the Packers organization that he was retiring from the NFL. As the offseason began, Favre started to notice that he only had one Super Bowl win under his belt, and he wanted to prove to the league that he was capable of winning more. Driven by his desire for victory, Favre got back in the 2008 season's free agency. Since Brett Favre left the Packers, he knew his career was over in Wisconsin and later got picked up from the New York Jets as their starting quarterback. This is where Favre felt like things were going his way. Whew, that's really tight. As the season started, Favre and the Jets started off good. At the halfway mark, the Jets were 5-3, tying their division rivals, the Patriots, who were also 5-3. The Jets would continue to stay hot, winning their next 3 games before running into trouble. During Week 12, the Jets' starting running back Thomas Jones suffered a season-ending injury. After the Jets lost their starting running back, they would finish the season losing 4 of the next 5 games, finishing with a disappointing record of 9-7. The Patriots, however, would go on to win the division title with an impressive 10-5 record, preventing Brett Favre and his Jets from making the playoffs. Favre, knowing that his old age was catching up to him, decided that he would decline staying with the Jets next season in hopes to find a more competitive team that would be able to win him his second Super Bowl of his career. Favre found his perfect opportunity when he received a phone call from the Minnesota Vikings, division rival of his former team, the Green Bay Packers. Oh, this is really tight. The Vikings had almost all the weapons they needed to win a Super Bowl, but they needed a strong-arm quarterback, and Favre was their man for the job. As the 2009 NFL season kicked off, the Vikings were off to a perfect start through Week 6, including a critical win over the Packers in Week 4. After Week 7, following an upsetting loss to the Steelers, Favre got his chance to prove that he was still the MVP as they would travel to Wisconsin to face the Packers at iconic Lambeau Field. I heard that, don't worry. Energized by his hard work and motivation, the Vikings would win the game, giving them a season sweep of their division rivals. The Vikings would continue to dominate the league, finishing the season at a phenomenal record of 12-4, giving them the number 2 seed in the playoffs. This was Favre's only chance to win it all, and he knew it. The Vikings got their first round bye and would face the Cowboys in the divisional round. The Cowboys wouldn't even put up a challenge for Favre, as the Vikings would top the Cowboys by a score of 34-3. The Vikings were only 1 win away from the Super Bowl, and only one team could prevent Favre from his 3rd Super Bowl appearance, and that was the number 1 seed, New Orleans Saints. Okay. Favre started red hot in the game, completing 7 of his 8 pass attempts, throwing for 37 yards before their running back would take a 19-yard handoff for the touchdown. The Vikings started the game as planned and took the early 7-0 lead. However, it didn't take long for the other Hall of Fame quarterback, Drew Brees, to answer with a touchdown of his own. Favre knew that this game wasn't going to be easy. The Vikings received the ball, and after a hard and rough drive, Favre was able to throw a pass for the touchdown to reclaim their lead, 14-7. The game would continue going back and forth all the way to the 4th quarter. With 2 minutes and 37 seconds left in the game, the score was tied 28-28, and Brett Favre and the Vikings had one last drive to try and win the game before overtime. Man, I'm doing bad. Favre and the Vikings pushed the ball all the way down to the Saints' 38-yard line, a perfect field goal range, but they need to get a first down in order to prevent the Saints from getting time to respond. With only 19 seconds left on the game clock, Favre was given permission to make a pass. Favre, knowing that his favorite wide receiver, Sidney Rice, was one-on-one coverage down to the end zone, saw his moment. He took a quick pump fake and threw the ball high towards the direction of Rice. Rice was in the perfect position, but Favre made a bad mistake reading the play. Seeing his receiver in one-on-one coverage, Favre forgot about the safety downfield. The pass was high enough for the safety to reach Rice and intercepted the ball. The Saints prevented the first down and didn't allow Favre to score. The game now was going to overtime. The Vikings knew that the first score would decide the winner, and they had to guess the coin flip right. Upsettingly, the ruck ran out, and it wasn't enough, as the Saints won the toss. Drew Brees thrived in overtime moments, and Favre knew this better than anyone. The Saints would push the Vikings defense all the way back to their own 22-yard line before they held the Saints to a fourth down with 3 yards left. Favre stood anxiously hoping for a miracle of a blocked field goal. The Saints kicker lined up his 40-yard field goal and the ball was snapped. The kicker took 3 steps and kicked the ball with all his force. It was a perfect field goal kick, and the Saints edged the Vikings in overtime with a score of 31-28. This was when Favre knew his career was over. Favre walked away from the league knowing that his taste for more Super Bowl wins was his ultimate downfall, and that his misreading ruined the Vikings' best chance of making the Super Bowl. Favre now left a new stain on his record for more interceptions than any quarterback at the time, and that was a record that could have been prevented if he would have stayed retired from the league after leaving Green Bay. Favre was always a hero to the NFL, but his need for more fame left a bad stain on his record. Thank you. And I know, that was some bad mess-ups, but I just want this assignment done.